Hey guys, RC here. Welcome back to episode. Oh, what are we on here? It's been a few days since I recorded um, episode 4 of our second season here with Kansas City. And let me see. First off, let me set my timer real quick. There we go. So we've had a couple of suggestions and a little bit of talk. Not as much as I would like, but it's still plenty of time to get your thoughts in on the questions I posed at the end of the season. As I mentioned, I did have a couple of additions in the can already done. So moving forward, we'll try to incorporate some of those. In fact, we're here in, yeah, we're not quite to mid-May, so we may do, let's go ahead and do that real quick before we get started. And that suggestion was that we do a little bit more of kind of a league review, leaderboard type thing, just, spot checking a few things. And I think that's a good idea. Maybe, they suggested it would get everybody a little more vested in the league. Maybe they're not Kansas City fans, which I'm certainly not a Kansas City fan at the end of the day. I just, really was, I liked the Royals team, especially at this point in my life at their and the juncture they were at. I was a young kid, and I really didn't have a favorite team. I was still figuring all that out, who I was going to be a fan of, and of course, I gravitated towards players more so, and actually probably because of baseball cards is one reason I was a fan of Kansas City. Not to mention the fact they had a pretty good team at that time. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look around the league. So uh, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the league leaders. We'll take a look at the Red Sox and the Yankees because, of course, I think they're two of the big name teams. Now, keeping in mind that we did start the 75 season with the current rosters in 75, we're now into 76, so we'll have seen a little bit of movement and maybe some names that don't look familiar in that lineup, but who knows? We'll take a look. So, Rodney Scott, Enos Cabell. Now, of course, according to this, yeah, he was with St. Louis. I remember his name popping up on the trade category. Some classic Red Sox names: Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, Carlton Fisk, of course, with the waving the ball fair in the World Series, or no, that was a playoff game. Yeah, this was before the Red Sox were actually thinking about winning World Series again. They were still under the curse of the Bambino. Cecil Cooper, Dwight Evans, and Rick Burleson. So definitely a lot of names I recognize in there. Louis Tiant, 35. He's at the end of his career. Probably the most well-known of these guys. Rick Wise, I do recognize the name. Drago. Any Rocky fans out there? I don't know if he's got the closing power of Ivan Drago, but hey, maybe. Let's see. Lance Clemens. Taking a look at their prospects: Butch Hobson, Mike Scioscia. Pretty short list of their top prospects there. And 20 and 12. So we've got Tiant 2-2. Cleveland 6-1. Wow, that guy's just on fire. 12-8 and 12-14 the last 2 years. So I'm willing to bet nobody in Boston saw him jumping out to a 6-1 record. Again, I'm kind of going off the comment that was made just to look at a couple of other teams, look at their rosters and whatnot. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see something else, then we can certainly do that as well. Hey, look, this is going to be an ongoing evolvement based on what you guys want to see. I mean, I'm going to be playing it out and putting up the videos, but if there's something you want to see, like I said, I want you to get something out of watching it as well. So, short of doing a league-wide wrap-up, every sim or anything like that. We do look at the standings. You can certainly pause the video, look at the leaderboards if you want. But yeah, I don't mind going into a couple of teams here and there, um, taking a look at their rosters so you can kind of see what they're doing by any stretch. If there's another screen you'd like to look at, let me know. But I think this one is pretty good because it gives you a really good overview on how they're ranking, their starting nine, their pitching staff, prospects, what have you. But let's see. Davey Lopes, of course, he was involved in the trade last season with the Dodgers. Roy White, Toby Harrah. Now, of course, he goes to the Rangers in real life. Bobby Bonds, Thurman Munson. What year was it? Was it 79? I'm not positive what year he died. Hold on, I'm going to have to Google it real quick because I don't remember. If you're not familiar, Thurman was a captain. In fact, if memory serves me correct, he was the last captain of the Yankees prior to Derek Jeter, the official captain. 1979, August 2nd, 1979, 32 years old. Plane crash. He was in a small private plane. And if you're a rock fan, you probably remember. Oh, I'm drawing a blank now. I've got my baseball mindset. Um, Randy Rhoads, the guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, also died in a small private plane accident, very young. He was right in the heart of his career. Like I said, 79. So we're only a couple of years away from that. Naturally that won't play out, and we'll see Thurman continue his career here, hopefully. Greg Nettles, Jimmy Wynn, of course, he's at the end of his career. Chris Chambliss, 27, and I believe he was the last first baseman before Don Mattingly came aboard. So they went from Chambliss to Mattingly. Ron Hassey, boy, I tell you what, their bullpen, their prospect list is not very talent laden. Not sure why, but let's see. Phil Necro. Now he's 37. Now he threw into his 40s. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, almost 50. Not many games those last couple of years, but up to 48, he was still pitching. 22 starts that year. So amazing what you can do with a knuckleball when you don't have to throw 90 or 100 miles an hour. Tommy John certainly not off to, while his ERA is good, certainly not off to the start he was last year when he went 19-5 as a free agent signing. Pat Dobson, Rudy May. Rudy May, I seem to recall him with the Orioles off the top of my head, and Doc Medich, Sparky Lyle, Dick Tidrow, Tippy Martinez, that's another guy that was a Baltimore Oriole in real life. When did he did start with the Yankees after '76. He looks like he was traded to Baltimore during the season. I did not know that. I did not remember Tippy being with the Yankees. Let's see, Scott McGregor. That's another one with the Orioles, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Huh. So he started with Baltimore, pitched his whole career. How is he with the Yankees here? Doesn't show that he was signed. So he must have actually been in the Yankees organization and was maybe part of that Tippy Martinez trade. I don't know. That's interesting. So yeah, a couple of guys that had big roles in the Orioles' success in later years, pitching on the Yankees staff at this time. Imagine if they would have held on to them. And Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning, my hometown hero. Uh, was always a Ron Guidry fan, although not a Yankees fan. Uh, but definitely was a big fan of Louisiana Lightning. Very nice guy. I've met him twice in passing. Very nice guy. Still lives down there in Louisiana. That was always home for him, and I've crossed paths with him a couple of times. He wouldn't be able to pick me out of a lineup, of course, but it was a thrill certainly to meet him. Let's see. My California Angels, that's the team I rooted for as a kid, still do today. Uh, Dave Collins, Bruce Bochy. Now, of course, he is now the manager for the Giants, has a couple of World Series with them, and was also the manager of the San Diego Padres. Butch Alberts doesn't ring a bell. Mickey Rivers, he went to the Yankees in real life, from what I remember. Yeah. In fact, it was in '76. I think he was a free agent. They let him go, and the Yankees outbid them or something, from what I remember. Let's see. Paul Dade, Jerry Remy, one of the guys that I remember. Ellie Rodriguez, Rance Mullins, Frank Tanana, Nolan Ryan, Ed Figueroa, Bill Singer, Chuck Dobson. I'm not sure why the Twins ring a bell. No, I was wrong. All right, so I don't have great recollection. Let's see, and of course Remy's already in the major leagues. Willie Aikens never panned out as a player, from what I remember. Ron Jackson. So there's a few guys there. Um, and then of course, a lot of comments were made about the draft this past year, that I haven't even posted as of the recording of this video, but it is in the books. And or maybe I did. Yes, I did. It did go up over the weekend. So um, they were talking about how many big names up in that draft class. So here we can take a quick look at the farm systems. The Cardinals, Braves, Angels making the top three. Astros made it up there at number 7. Orioles, of course, traded a lot of people, so they're down towards the bottom. The Big Red Machine, they're pretty young at this point, so I don't think their farm system depth is an issue. And we are at number 17, and I'm a little surprised some of our guys have not appeared on this list. I think Jack Morris is going to be pretty good, especially picking him up where we did in the first round. So anyway, I'll be interested in any thoughts you have on how we've covered this. I'll try to do maybe the top 2 teams, and we'll rotate around and try to get all the teams. It was suggested I do it maybe once a month, to do that as a monthly wrap up, and we'll also try to look a little deeper at the monthly award winners, things of that nature. So anyhow, like I said, I'll be interested in your thoughts below. But let's go ahead and let's see. Ron Fairley is out for a month, but it was moderate for his running, and I think, yeah, we actually have him in a bench role, mainly as a pinch hitter. Mallory's actually playing right now, and not doing too hot in his first 11 games. Somebody mentioned the Lee Lacy signing last season. Didn't hit well at 269. Wasn't horrible, but it was certainly an upgrade. And hitting 330 this year, already as many homers and RBIs in 29 games for us as he had in 39 games last year. So hopefully getting adjusted to the American League and the American League pitching. Hopefully he can eclipse those 1975 numbers with the Dodgers. George is hitting really well, but no power this year. He has really struggled with power at the plate. So hopefully we can see an improvement there. I'd like to see him take off. And Dennis Leonard, we talked about him last video about Dutch Leonard being from the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 30s, and I have officially nicknamed Dennis Dutch as far as for the duration of this video series. So if I call him Dutch, it's just house preference, we'll call it that, and we'll move along. Steve Busby, our ace last year, not pitching badly, just not getting decisions. And Paul Splitorf, really surprising at the bottom of the rotation. Al Hrabowski, of course, was an all-star that we traded for in the offseason. I'd like to see that ERA come down, but 6 saves already. But we are struggling. We're 3 games out. We're under 500, and it's across the board. Our ERAs are not good, and our offense is just not clicking right now. So hopefully we can pick that up. Well, let's go ahead and get a week under our belt. Hamstring, 5 to 6 weeks. Well, that's fabulous. So we're going to go ahead and put him on the DL. And I don't think he was starting. Nope, he was backing up Lacy. So what do we need here? Sprained knee. All right, well, looks like he must have just gotten hurt, so we're not going to bring him up yet. Well, I don't know. Do we just go short-handed for a few weeks? Team record. Starter. Extreme fly ball pitcher. Maybe we give him a shot. 4-21 projected for the season. Yeah, we're not going to give him a shot. Not with a 5.91 ERA. Thank you anyway. I thought I was going to like Bruno a little bit, but I really don't. We called up Healy. Has he gotten worse? Development. May of 76. So his potential rating dropped. March of 76, so that just went down. And I didn't notice that. Well, he's only been up for two games and he's hitting 250. Stinson, 198. Yeah, he hits like scrap iron. Golly, who do I call up? Who's in AAA here? Mark Wiley. I don't really need another. He's hurt. I mean, really, he's my only other option. I mean, I could bring up Wiley, but I don't think I want to. Oh, Throop's on the DL. He's got a week left. Doug Bird. Boy, he just looks like he should be pitching much, much better. It's early. I mean, he's only got 3 games. If he can get back to these numbers, I'd be happy, but he's killing me right now. You know what? We're gonna go light on the depth. I'm just gonna move Gates up a spot. I'm gonna put him if tired, and we'll go ahead and finish out the week. All right, there we go. So let's check some emails first. All right, Ron Fairley, sore quad, day to day for about 4 weeks. Now he was already injured, so now he's 3 to 4 weeks, but that's okay. He was already day to day, moderate running for a month, so that doesn't hurt us anymore. Seaver, Tom Seaver with a shutout. Louis Tiant, a bad influence on the team. Steve Staggs, we just looked at. J.R. Richard got the win, evened his record at 4-4. Let's see. Player of the Week in the American League, Carlton Fisk. 647 average for the week, 11 hits, 17 at bats, 3 homers, 9 RBIs in 5 games, 390 for the season. Well, that's not a bad season there, Carlton. And the National League is Jack Clark, 20-year-old for the Giants. 538, 14 for 26, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. 333 with 8 homers on the season. Among the rookies, Tack Wilson, 4 triples. Ken Landrew, 3 triples. Billy Sample, 3 triples. Lou Beasley and Lance Mullins, 2 each. And in the power rankings, Cincinnati and New York, the Mets still atop. Let's see, big movers. The Cubs were up a good bit. Tigers were up. Dodgers were up. Houston was a big drop this week. We came up just a little bit, and the Cardinals made a pretty big jump from the bottom, it looks like. So let's get in and look at our schedule. All right, so we had a 7-2 win over Cleveland. Paul Splittorff went 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. Hrabowski closed it out with 2 innings. Not a save situation. We roughed up Gaylord Perry, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned in 8 innings for the victory. Home runs, none. McRae got his 2nd triple of the season. And let's see, Brett was 3 for 5. His average is 356 now. McRae was 2 for 4 with an RBI. Mayberry came off the bench as a pinch hitter in this one and got a hit and an RBI in his lone at bat. Fairley started at first base, 1 for 3. Mayberry must have been tired. And Cleveland, any names on there that jump out? George Hendrick, Boog Powell. Boog Powell was a good old country boy. Uh, Bobby Bell, Buddy Bell. Um, oh, was it him? I believe so. Go if you're interested. Go see if you can Google Buddy Bell blowing baseball foul. And I remember he was playing third base. I don't know why I was thinking it was with Texas though. And yeah, on the ground, on the field, literally blowing the baseball, trying to get it to go foul. That memory just jumped out at me for some reason. Yeah, well. I couldn't do algebra, but boy, I filed away those useless bits of baseball information. All right, so that was that game. Good win for us. 12-5. We really hit that well. Dutch got the complete game victory to even his record at 3-3. Eckersley, and yes, Dennis Eckersley was a starting pitcher early in his career before becoming one of the most dominant closers in baseball history. We got to him. Home runs. Freddie Patek hit 2 in this game. Amos Otis got his 3rd of the season. Steve Kemp got his first homer, and George Hendricks got his 7th homer of the season. What about base running? Nope, no stolen bases in this one. Patek, what a game. 3 for 4, 2 homers, 3 RBIs. And who would have thought light hitting shortstop second baseman Freddie Patek would have 4 homers and George Brett would have 1. But he is hitting 311. What did he hit last year? 243 and 225. Yeah, so very happy with his hitting this year. Mallory up to 241, although it looks like he struggled a little bit later in the week. 195 for the season. Brett went hitless, so I guess any hit streak he had got snapped. Hal McRae, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. He did not have a home run. What did he have? 6 total bases. That's a heck of a game. 3 for 5, 2 RBIs. Oh, McRae, I'm sorry. No, McRae did not have a home run. McRae, 6 total bases. Well, hey, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. I will not shake a stick at that. Otis with the home run. He's only hitting 235. Way down. I mean, he's about 80 points down on his average. And I'm wondering how much of that has to do with his injury last year. And I really find the game, I've noticed in my online league in version 17, and possibly here, the game, some of the players really struggle that first year coming back from an injury. And I don't know if that's something that's coded into the game as like a penalty factor. It's just something I've noticed. I have in a fictional league we play in, I've got a first baseman named Bryce Frank, and his nickname is Furball. And yeah, he's a power hitter, not great for average. Typically, I mean, a 270, 280 season is good for him. And he came back from an injury and hit like 225. So it was a pretty steep drop off. And then the next year, where he was not coming off an injury, he was back up to his 275, 280 range again. Now he didn't really lose anything power wise that year. It was just in average. So I don't know if that's something coded into the game or not. But this is kind of interesting to see Otis struggling when even in the game, historically he never really hit that poorly. And the only thing is that injury last year. All right, well, guys, we're going to go ahead and pick up here in the in the next episode, we'll go through our week. Let me know in your comments below what you think of the slightly slower pace, going through the box scores a little bit more. Do you like that? Is it too much? Let me know what your thoughts were at the beginning of the video with kind of like the league roundup, and we'll do that. Probably once a month is what was suggested, and I think that's a good pace that won't add too much to the length of a season. But anyway, add your thoughts below. Thanks for checking out the video, and we will see you next time. Take care.